What is going on, guys? SKITZ here, back with yet another coffee talk. It has been a while, and for good reason. If there is no content to cover, or if there is a bunch of content already being recycled, I do not like to put out extensive guides on that. So if you're brand new, this is your first coffee talk, make sure you go back through and watch the other ones if you have time to kill. But what these are, different from my short and sweet World of Warcraft guides, my 2 and 3 minute guides, these are made for your commute, for your gym grind, wherever you have 30 to 45 minutes, an hour to kill, depending on how long each coffee talk is, depending on how much information I have to talk about. These are made for you. So sit back, relax, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are listening from. Glad to have you along. Right now we're talking about patch 7.2 and how I'm currently making my daily gold. So if you guys haven't caught up with my channel or know much about me as a WoW gold farmer, my primary goal is to make sure that you have to never ever pay for WoW with real game money, your IRL money, ever again. So if you could pay for your subscription with your in-game gold off of my guides for the rest of WoW's shelf life, that would mean the world to me. It's already happened. I've already helped hundreds of people, and I hope these updated guides help you. So basically what I'm doing right now, my professions in Legion were jewel crafting, and when jewel crafting dropped, it was one of the hottest commodities, one of the hottest professions out in Legion. I'm gonna give you a brief backstory. Basically what was happening is the Fell Slate, the Laystone market was going crazy. Botters and a majority of the WoW population had not hit the scene yet, so everybody was getting the jump. Everybody wanted a taste of Legion, and everybody wanted to get the best items in the game, so on and so forth. So not a lot of people, scarce population. The botters were little to none at the time, and basically gems were selling, as an example, for 3,500, almost 4,000 gold per gem, and that was just for your 150 stat gems. That wasn't even for like your Saber's Eyes. So basically I'm going to go over how I'm making gold right now with cooking and jewel crafting, but all the principles surrounding the auction house and what I talk about can be implemented to a lot of different things. And if you guys have any specific suggestions or guides, coffee talks, or short and sweet guides you want me to cover, please put them in the description below, the comments below. I will read those. I always read those, and we will get back to those and see if we can knock one of those out for you. So periodically through this, I will also sip on my coffee. It is tradition, and I ramble a lot, but it is all good information. It is all useful for you to make a lot of gold, and we're going to jump into it right now. So excuse me. Okay, so what's happening now in patch 7.2? It is the 8th of April. The patch has been out for about a week and a half now, 2 weeks even. There are people flying in Legion, to put it into perspective, if you're watching this from any time frame. So basically what happened is the Fell Slate market, the Laystone market, all of your consumables like your herbs, everything that is a major crafting reagent, basically got nerfed to the ground. So what happened is all of your Fell Slate, your herbs, all of that is so shot now because of how easily obtainable bloods are. And this is what brings me up to my next big point, and the big point of this coffee talk is to not really hold on to your inventory anymore. I was the biggest culprit of this because I was around at Legion's release. I was around at a lot of the expansions release, and I know what it feels like to make that good initial gold, that great gold, off of gems, right? If you sell a quick Dawnlight at 3,500 at Legion's release, and now you're selling them for 1,000, you don't want to sell them. You want to hold on to them until the market, either spikes or goes back up, or there's an influx in this, or a patch, or you're waiting on a bot ban wave or something. But realistically, it's internet items. The gold is what's most important. The gold is what's going to transfer to your WoW tokens, to your Battle.net currency. There's going to be a lot of the items. Get over it, get rid of them, sell them for a decent price. I'm not saying just lowball everything and get rid of it. You have to be smart about it. But I'm saying work with the patch, work with the time. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to quickly this is from briefly, I want to say an hour on the auction house, just these right here, 37. and this is what it's looking like. So I'm going to scoop up the rest of these gems here. You guys can hear the money clinking in the background. I'll pull my trade window up, and for those of you that are in the car or rolling around and can't see the gold, I will tell you. So basically, also while you're listening to this, these are made, if you can't really see the screen, it's more of a podcast type, just listen, sit back, relax, and hang out. So we looted from that 34,735 gold. So again, 34,735 gold just from that. And I was selling these items. I'm going to go back up here and show you guys. Masterful Shadow Ruby, 931 gold per. I'm selling Masterful Shadow Rubies for 931 gold per. I know, it hurts to even say that. Quick Dawn Lights, I'm selling for 1,115 gold. Also hurts to say that. My Saber's Eye, after the cut, I'm selling these for 4,999 gold. That hurts me to say. Those were selling for 15k plus during the release, and so on and so forth. So you guys kind of get the picture of the early Legion times when it first got released to prices now. So what happened to Bloods? Why are Bloods easily obtainable? Why are Bloods driving the prices down of a majority of your gems, cooking reagents, a lot of your items in Legion? And I'm going to tell you why. So what basically happened, if you guys are watching the video and you can see the screen, the Broken Shore was released in 7.2, excuse me, and the Centenax farm was implemented. And what this is, if you have not seen my short and sweet guide on this, you farm nether shards, but along those parameters, while you're farming those, the mobs also have a chance to drop on my screen here the Centenax beacon of the Bloodstrike. And I'm going to read it to you. It says, on use, commands the Centenax to fire a Bloodstrike at your current location, unearthing blood of Sargeras, right? Also, a side note, as you use these, you have to use these as the portals are up. So if somebody summons a lieutenant, which you should never do, side note, side cart as well, all of these right here, all my lieutenants, because you hold on to those actually stop the farm altogether when you summon the epic lieutenant. So all the portal stones that are epic you need to stay away from. Kind of a side note right there for your Centenax farm here on the Broken Shore. So once you spawn these, the beacon of the Bloodstrike, you guys are familiar with it. If you're not, you guys can check it out. It's very, very simple, but this will summon a beacon down. It will do 208% of your maximum health over 4 seconds. So pop a cooldown, Spirit Link, whatever you have to do to just bubble, whatever. And it's going to drop a beacon, a collective beacon for you and your party, not just you and your party, to obtain and just click on Blood of Sargeras. So it's very, very overpowered. I'm farming easily over 100 bloods a day, and I'm not even looking for jewel crafters anymore to cut my gems. On very, very rare occasions, I'll have jewel crafters cut gems because they have a lot of bloods, but just by the daily quest out in the Broken Shore and just your 9-to-5 routine through WoW, you're going to obtain a lot. So I go out there again on the Broken Shore, the Centenax farm, the portals are up. All you do is farm the mobs. They will drop the Centenax beacon of the Bloodstrike while you're farming that. Also important to note that you should have your Blood Hunter enchanted on your shoulder. For those of you that are new to the game or have no idea what that is a shoulder enchant, Revered Reputation, with the Vault of the Wardens in Azuna. This will give you a chance to, as you kill mobs, they will drop the Blood Hunter's Quarry. When you open those, they have a chance to drop blood. So at the end of the day, you're stacking up a lot of bloods, and that is going to segue into our next point, into why the materials are so cheap. So before the blood trader was announced in Dalaran, you couldn't obtain ore or herbs or fish or order resources or anything of that nature without going out and primarily farming it yourself. So you had to get on your miner, you had to get on your herbalist, you had to go out and farm order resources yourself. The catch-up system Blizzard implemented basically brought everybody up to speed. They implemented the blood trader in Dalaran, and now you can turn in your bloods for Fellslate. What do you think Fellslate is going for now that bloods are so easy to get, right? So let's go check live now. I have no idea actually what this is going to be. It's probably going to be terrible. I'm checking the auction house. Let's check out Fell Slate, okay? It got reset, it seems like, bad luck, but it still is at 28 gold, guys. And the point I'm making is even when somebody reset this, it was teetering below 20 gold. So cheap Fell Slate means a lot of cheap mass prospecting, which also means a lot of gems, which also means you have a lot of bloods to cut your gems and to get rid of them. I cannot stress enough, if you take nothing from this coffee talk, get rid of your inventory. If you have an influx of materials coming behind you, a lot of Fell Slate if you are a jewel crafter, a lot of herbs if you are making potions, if you're an alchemist or whatever, you guys get the picture. You have to just let go of your items. I know if you guys were playing earlier in Legion, you want those prices to come back. It's fair to say we're never going to see those again. If the Centenax farm stays around, which it seems like it will, bloods are very easy to obtain. They're dropping very frequently. You can group farm now with bloods, almost like a seed farm. You can do it with bloods, and I'll make a video on that if you guys almost want to see how that's done. You guys can put a comment in the description, or the comments below, excuse me. So that is what's going on with the current situation of blood. So let's go back, and I'm going to run through a scenario or a couple to show you guys and explain to you fully in depth. If you're listening, thank you again, guys, for the support. My live stream has taken off, twitch.tv/itskits, nightly at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to midnight. If you haven't popped in to introduce yourself, really, really awesome atmosphere. We chill, make gold, do all kinds of viewer things. So I'm looking right now, Saber's Eye of Agility. It's going for 5,400 gold, right? Sounds terrible. Well, it only costs 5 bloods. We're getting a lot of bloods now. And what do you think the price of Pandemonite, Fury Stone, and all the materials to make Saber's Eye is currently, right? So if we have a lot of Fell Slate, we're doing a lot of prospecting. And if we look at Pandemonite, we're going to see that it is obviously cheap, right? It's going to vary realm to realm, but in just literally hands down, the way to always gauge this, the cheaper the bottom materials are, the better success you're going to have in that market. I'm going to give you another example. So here's the first example, the current one, Fell Slate. Cheap Fell Slate equals cheap gems because we're prospecting it, right? It equals also a lot of bloods we're getting from the new farm. So that takes the equation out of tipping your jewel crafters, you know, 250 gold per blood or whatever, so on and so forth. You cut that whole situation out. So you're going to save gold there, not a lot, but when it comes down to it, guys, the bottom material, Fell Slate, is going to yield cheap gems, which is going to let you just crank them out at a rapid pace. You're selling them. It's a hot commodity now. A lot of mythic progression, a lot of people preparing for the new raids and doing the challenges and swapping out gear. They have crafted legendaries. The gem market is flooding with people buying gems, and you almost have to get rid of your gems at a decent price rather than hold on to them for a price that you think they might go back up to. So like I said, as I list the gems, they sell immediately, almost at peak hours. I mean immediately. People are shying away from doing 2 and 3 stacks because they're selling so fast. They're putting them up in like 8 and 10 stacks. And I will take, you know, 100 Quick Dawn lights selling at 1,000 gold per day, then holding on to 25 to sell for 2,500 maybe when I reset it, or just sit and literally, you guys hear it all the time, time is money. From the goblins, you guys are goblins most likely listening to this video, but that is true. Get rid of it. It's mine. It's scooped up from the vendor. People are spending 0 time, you know, with that. Do not invest your time, and do not invest all of your hard earned time when you could be doing other things on the auction house and making more money and selling gems. Just move on. I was the biggest hypocrite of this. I did this my first probably up until about 2 years ago. I would hold on to everything. I would hold on to everything, and then I would end up selling it, you know, 3 months later for even a lower price. So I want to show you guys another example of what we just talked about at the bottom price. So for instance, if Ghost Iron ore, the bottom price of that was expensive, that would dictate more or less the price of your Sky Golem, right? Because Ghost Iron ore, you would farm that, would determine what the Ghost Iron bar price would be, would determine what the Trillium bar price would be, which would determine what the Living Steel price would be, which is your main ingredient for your Sky Golems, and that is what would drive the price up or down with your Sky Golems. So it's very, very cut and dry when you want to look at certain markets, and when you're looking at gems or any high-end or top-end final product, you want to look at what goes into it at the base level and then make your decisions off that. So let's just go off of some raw gems right now. I'm going to show you guys what's up. The Saber's Eye of Agility, we're going to list these up, and I bet as we're talking in this 5 minutes, something is going to sell. These are Saber's Eyes, so maybe not, but if I were to list Quick Dawn Lights or Masterful Shadow Rubies right now, they would be flying off the shelf. I actually sold out right now, but I don't want to craft. I want to get this out to you guys so you guys can absorb this and take advantage of it. And I want to show you another aspect right now of the cheap fell slate market. So the major gold, I guess, method I went to when before 7.2 dropped, right before 7.2, the gem market was kind of crashing. It wasn't too hot, and the only thing that was really popping off at certain times was the consumable market, was the food, because people were doing challenges, progression, mythic nighthold, trying to get through all of that, and they were dying, or whatever the reason was. They always needed food, and they always came back for consumables. So Nami, before the prepared ingredients in 7.2, was burning everybody's shit, excuse my language, and was basically giving people terrible recipes, and if any recipes at all, it wasn't the rank 3. So I checked out the Nightborn Delicacy Platter, I looked at the base ingredient, I looked at the Barracudas that made the next step up. I can't pronounce it, it's the Barracuda Maglaga, you guys know what I'm talking about, which then makes your Nightborn Delicacy Platter. So if you work from the ground up, check the prices. I was making a killing, and I'm still making a killing now with the Nightborn Delicacy Platter. I have rank 3. The Barracuda is cheap. The Starlight Rose is cheap, guys, because again, you have a lot of bloods. You go to the blood vendor, turn it in for Starlight Rose, you flood the market, free Starlight Rose. Awesome. What else is cheap? Fell Slate, like we talked about. Go to the auction house, scoop up a lot of fell slate, prospect it, you get gems, sell them quick, awesome. You do not get gems, you have a lot of gem chips and some items to obliterate later. If you guys haven't checked out that guide, very important right now. Obliterum is spiking sometimes. It's called 1 green gem equals 1 Obliterum ore. Very, very handy guide to check out. And every single coffee talk I go over may not be up to date with the current patch, but the techniques and everything I go over in every single one of those, how to talk to your jewel crafters, how to engage people, how to just be an overall solid rounded goblin, I guess you can call it, everything in there is beneficial. So if you guys haven't checked out those coffee talks, make sure you do. They are awesome. A lot of good reviews on that, and it passes the time, and you guys can absorb World of Warcraft material that can benefit you, hopefully, in the long run with your gold goblin-ing, I guess you can call it, and hopefully never have to pay for WoW, like I said, IRL, ever again. So, cheap gem chips equals food. Food is not really easily made because, again, they now require you to come up with prepared ingredients. You will randomly click on that. It will give you a plan, and it's not that easy still to level up your cooking to rank 3. So the cooking market, the gem market, I'm in both of those. Awesome. You could also just sell your gem chips outright. Also a great way to make gold. And basically, I'm going to segue into how and why and what to look after gem wise to make a lot of gold. And basically I'm going to take you through kind of a morning progression of what I do. So jewel crafting wise, I have Auctionator. If you have TSM, either is fine, but let's go through just a raw segment here. So I'm just going to search. Let's do Masterful Shadow Rubies, right? They're going right now for a whopping 890 gold, right? Sounds terrible. Let's look at what the Shatter Rubies are going for uncut. Just the raw, uncut Shatter Ruby. It's going for 485 gold. It sounds miserable, right? So we have a lot of bloods. Bloods aren't a problem anymore. We can just mass cut Masterful Shatter Rubies, treat them like, you know, dirt now, but they're going to sell so fast, not only because they're cheap, but this is a just fountain of youth or fountain of gold with just an ever-flowing stock of Fell Slate. You guys are never going to run out of gems. You're never going to run out of Fell Slate to prospect. And the only thing that you might run out of is bloods if you do not go out and do a casual hour or two farming every couple of days. It's very, very easy. And like I said, guys, you can get these from the Syntonax farm on the Broken Shores, the Beacon of the Bloodstrike. You summon these down, the whole party gets bloods. So imagine 17 of these beacons going down. I'm picking them up. My friends are picking them up. They're dropping them. I'm picking them up. And we don't even have to be killing mobs, but just farming these beacons to obtain the blood. So a lot of different ways to obtain bloods right now. Very, very simple. So the gap right here is almost, I would say, about 500 gold. About 450 gold plus. We're not paying for bloods. We have not bought any of the uncut gems. We're going to have a plethora of them because the Fell Slate is so cheap. So we're going to craft those, let them go, guys. It's going to sell. It'll add up. It will add up. Let's check out the Quick Dawnlight, going for a little over 1,000 gold, and I think the uncut usually settles around the same price. Dawnlight is the only one that doesn't. Sometimes it bugs out. So yeah, Dawnlight is a hot seller. We're going to move on to the Deadly Eye of Prophecy. The cut is 750. The uncut is going for it is going for, so the cut is going for 750. Excuse me, guys. And the uncut is going for, waiting for Auctionator to load up here, 450. So again, guys, almost a plus 300, 400 gap. You're not paying for your bloods right now for jewel crafters to make these. So you're going to be able to make a lot of Skrilla, even though these are very, very cheap. And then the worst one, the ones I always stay away from, is the Maelstrom Sapphires, because I'm not even going to look at those right now. They are miserable, not only the uncut, but the cut. And I definitely would not waste my bloods on that gem. It's not even about if they sell or not, because people need versatility, yes, but I'm not going to waste bloods on the grind where I could use them for Shadow Rubies, Saber's Eyes, sometimes neck pieces that throttle up and down, so on and so forth. So to kind of wrap up and double back on what this coffee talk was about, 7.2, we are months into Legion in itself, the expansion. We are deep into it now. A lot of new patches are unfolding, the new AP system, a lot of new crafted legendaries that have 3 prismatic slots. I'm just talking about jewel crafting in general right now with cooking, just giving you an example, but the bloods have affected a majority of the markets, and this is why. So if you're wondering why you're seeing such cheap ore and herbs and fish and all those kind of things, it's because not the botters, because they actually just lost a 8-point-something million lawsuit with Blizzard Entertainment. Finally, I think it was like a long battle over multiple years, but they are not licensed or something like that to sell or operate or do anything in the United States anymore. So hopefully that will finally come to an end. I'm sure something else will trickle up or just, you know, might come up on the scene, but nothing major. And the bloods have been buffed pretty much. So everybody just joining now in 7.2 in the Broken Isles. Bloods through the Beacon farms. They spawn, like I said, guys, if you go out there and farm the Syntonax portals, you will scoop up the Syntonax Beacon of the Bloodstrike. They are super overpowered. that is a blood farm in itself. I will put that up against skinning bloods or mining for bloods or spamming heroics or anything. That is a multi farm. I actually might put a guide out on that if you guys want, of that blood farm, or a multi-blood farm. It's a multi-purpose farm. But basically, again, here we go. Get rid of your stuff, guys. I know it sounds terrible. I know you guys have been saving up, maybe have some guild banks full, but it is time to unload. It's only going to get worse. The prices are only going to get cheaper, in my opinion. And with that being said, it's an opportunity for you guys to treat this like the prices at Legion's drop were like this from the beginning. The bloods were easily obtainable. The gems never went above these prices, and this is good gold, because it is, because you're not going out of your way to buy 50 gold per fell slate. It's 19 gold per fell slate. As you guys can see now, as we maneuvered our way through the rest of this coffee talk, people are listing the fell slate back up at 19 gold. So cheap fell slate, cheap gems, already have the cheap bloods, push them out. It's very easy. 1,000 gold per gem when you're selling 10 every 5 minutes. 10 minutes adds up, guys, I'm telling you right now. So what I would recommend for you guys to do is, whether you're crafting anything crafting related, to get rid of it if your base market items are cheap fell slate, herbs, anything that you guys use to crank out a majority of your materials. The cooking market is absolutely amazing. A lot of consumables, whether it's cooking or your potions of the prolonged power, or anything that people are going to buy massive amounts of and recycle. Because like I said in a majority of my early coffee talks, I talked about how people cannot replace certain things. Once you use a potion, it's gone. Once you use a potion of the prolonged power, obviously after the minute it's gone. Once you socket a quick dawn light into your shoulders and get an upgrade the next day from Blingatron, you're gonna resocket it, and you can't unsocket the gem. You're gonna get rid of it. So it's going to be a cycle of just you being able to feed your server's economy, and if you want to suck it up and do it at the price that's currently listed. I'm not going out there and telling you guys to throw gems at 400 gold per, because it's not going to be worth your time to go out and farm the bloods to go there and do that, if that makes sense, guys. So if your gems are hovering around 1,500 or 1,000, or you guys know, like I said, if the base material, if the base market, if the fell slate's cheap, you'll be able to tell if it's feasible to craft the gems or not, right, guys? So again, the big point of this coffee talk now, patch 7.2, the bloods are very easy to obtain. You're going to want to go out there with a group if you can. Centenax Farm, I have a guide up there how to get close to a 10,000 per hour. That was the release of 7.2, so I honestly can tell you it might have gotten tweaked. They nerfed certain things but buffed other aspects of the beacon farm, but you can definitely scoop up enough bloods while doing this, and again, scoop up your boon of the Blood Hunter enchant, revered reputation, with the Vault of the Wardens in Azuna. So I wish you guys the best of luck. If you have any questions on the current market or your specific market, I'm very knowledgeable in those said markets, but since I only jewel craft and mine and primarily flip and cook now, I want to bring you guys a coffee talk on what I am most comfortable with. And I know for a fact, after doing this for hours on end on my live stream and for you guys on these coffee talks and videos, that I understand what's going on. So after I went out and farmed 100 bloods in an hour and a half, I knew something was going to change when you could just go over there to the blood vendor in Dalaran, dump them, and just put whatever you would like on the auction house. So check out my live stream, road to our sub button, twitch.tv/itskits. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Also, all of the other coffee talks are on a playlist. I will put 4 of those, actually 3 of those. The subscribe button will be in the bottom left hand corner. If you enjoyed this video, if you like more videos for your commute, We will vote on certain topics. I can talk about a lot of different things. There's a lot of multiple coffee talks out already on certain farms if you're not level 110, or if you want to go back and revisit old farms, or just the basic principles and the basic way to go about the auction house, talking to people, and what to do and how to maneuver around Legion. All of those are up right now. All of my add-ons, everything else is on my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys subscribe if this video helped. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys in the next coffee talk. I love you guys to death. See you in the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.